Yo, welcome to the show. I am your host, Afro the Prince.
And I am your co-host, Papa Fredo. This is the Midwest point of view, where we give our point of view on business, life, and culture here in the Midwest, and how that affects us all around the world.
You dig. So today, uh, honestly, today we really want to talk about from a cultural perspective, because we think that that is very significant and it needs to be highlighted. And the people who don't get highlighted, a lot of times, do be women, and all women specifically. So we wanted to highlight some Midwest women in history. Um, there actually are a few. But one of the people, because I'll go first. So one of the people I want to highlight, her name is uh, Val Phillips. She was an American attorney. She became the first African American judge in Wisconsin. She held a few titles. She was a politician. She was a civil rights activist. She literally went to the NAACP meetings, and she met with Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, Martin. Like, she's sitting in the room talking and fighting for justice with them. Thurgood Marshall, like, and I think a lot of time why they are significant pillars, we should highlight or at least try to find out about the other men and women who were right there with them in that fight for our rights, to change our stance in American history, and especially for the Midwest. So this was in Wisconsin. And I know a lot of people don't talk about Wisconsin, which is why I was actually very honored to find that out about her. She was born 1923, February 18th. So she was actually born in Black history, and she was a woman who made and helped define Black history, which is really, really dope. And she went to Howard. She went to HBCU, and I think that that's astonishing when I go back and look at historical figures, even from the Midwest. We prided ourselves in that era to go to HBCUs, and that's still one of my goals to go to HBCU myself. So I thought that that was really, really dope.
Thank you,
And
Afro. We appreciate you providing that information, man, and shining a light on Wisconsin and giving us some of that knowledge there. I guess I'll take over and roll out Josephine Baker. She was born in St. Louis, Missouri. She is successful for being a famous dancer back in.
a famous what?
Sorry, she was a famous dancer,
Okay.
like a stage dancer. She did a lot of dancing back during the Renaissance War. And
Mm-hmm.
what she was famous or really known for here in the U.S. is because, not just outside of dancing, is because during the World War II, she became a spy for the French Renaissance War, as far as with passing information on to the U.S. that she was capturing from the Nazis, and that allowed us to win that war.
Mm-hmm.
So the information that she provided, it was a good aid. So I thought she was a good impact here on our man. I can't spit it out right now. It's the
On our history here in the Midwest.
yeah, on
But
our
to,
in the
but
Midwest, just on our, you know what I'm saying, on our country. You feel me? Like what she did was she put herself on the front line,
yeah.
and she found a way to use her art to also be a hero in some sort. So I really thought that was pretty nice. And she's black, just to let you all know as well. So I thought that was great. A good, strong woman for our culture.
Yeah. To add to that, one of the things that I really wanted to highlight, because we talk about this, we mention this, and we'll go into more detail about what we talk about the housing market a little later in the show. But what one of Val Phillips highlights was she used her law degree that she got from the University of Wisconsin to propose and construct a housing bill to fight what we know as redlining. And she made it in such detail that if the other counterparts of other ethnic groups, and if you want to be honest, the white people during this time, in the 20s, 40s, 50s, 60s, they would get a $250 fine, and they would get 30 days in jails if they were convicted of discrimination along with housing. And she did all this. She came up with the bill, proposed it in like their Congress and congressional court in Wisconsin. So I thought that that was really really dope because it especially back then it was really really hard to find housing.
Yeah, and just to clean that up too for the people, it was the French Resistance. I apologize, while flowing through or trying to flow through that. I used the wrong word when I said Renaissance, but it's the French Resistance during World War II that when Josephine Baker had her highlights there. So just to kind of clear that up. But outside of Josephine, I do want to bring Michelle Obama back up. Why do I want to bring Michelle Obama back up? Because I felt that she wasn't highlighted enough for what she brought to the country, right? So she was the first African American lady, known as the first lady of the U.S., and she also promoted health and awareness here to the kids in the U.S. So if you pay attention, when she took over that fight, which she was fighting well before she even made it into office with Obama, with Barack Obama, she then thus to bring the fight into schools, which got us better meals and healthier eating there in some aspect. So she really took the fight, you know, worldwide as far as with to see to it that the kids, not just her kids, but all kids, are eating better and trying to live a healthier longevity life in some sort. So I do appreciate her for that, and that's why I wanted to highlight her.
Okay. As we know, the Obamas, but specifically Michelle Obama, definitely was a pinnacle and all out, our world history, Black history, but it does do the Midwest a great justice and honor to have her be from our region and impact history. And one last person that I want to bring up, she's actually called the Rosa Parks of Iowa. She was born. Her name is Eden Griffin, and I was actually very proud to find that out. Uh, because she has my maiden name. But she studied in Kentucky. She became a teacher. Um, she graduated with her husband from the University of Fisk. So again, that goes back to the importance of the people who made our history and the women, especially Black women who made our history, uh, push their Black ideals through HBCUs. And with her teaching, she challenged civil rights. She challenged racism directly. And she went to Iowa, and there was a store owner on July 7th. This was the actual incident. July 7th, 1948. She went into the store, and they gave a spiel and a story about, they wasn't able to serve her. The machinery didn't serve colored people, didn't work for colored people. And she knew it was a hoax. She knew it was bullshit, to be honest. She just knew what it was. And they staged a sit-in and she went to court. Now, this is a time to where they're full-fledged in Jim Crow, and she goes to court and she wins. Now, she initially sued them for $10,000, but to clarify, there's always some undertone to it. While she won, she didn't win the $10,000. I think they gave her $1. But the stamp on the fact that they still had to face the fact that this was morally wrong, because she won in front of an all white jury at the height of Jim Crow. So the fact that I would say she even won that case at all, and it's put on record that she won in the state of Iowa, is amazing to me, and it's a feat to when people say, "Oh, this will never happen," to give up the dreams and just become content with the way we are. No, what you call our ancestors didn't do any of that. So that's one of my biggest things.
Yeah, and with the way that we spoke on the Project 25 in our prior discussion, with the way that everything is going right now, and that being implicated in certain places in Mississippi now where they're already segregated as far as with it's an all white bar or an all black bar, all white restaurant, all black
Talking about right
alcohol.
now.
Yeah, right now they're already implicating the Jim Crow law. So what I'm just stopping to say is just we have showed our power and our strength throughout time and time and time again. This time is such a crucial time for us as black people and those of color to just man together and really think about what is it going to take to push our culture forward. It's too much going on as far as with when you go to the European stores, you see a lot of Europeans shopping with Europeans. When you go to a Mexican store, it's pretty much Mexicans shopping with Mexicans. It's not enough black stores where black people are supporting black people, black hospitals where black people are serving black people. We got so many nurses, we got doctors. You know what I'm saying? So this is the time for us really to think about what we can do to really man together. Because if this rock turns to shit, we the first ones that's gonna be on the platter. So I just think that's something to wake up to, And what you just said alone, mentioning this fine woman from Iowa, it just gives another spark to what I'm saying as far as with us showing time and time again our power to come above all.
Hmm. Um, and it's the truth. Now, now, one way I would say that we can show our power, outside of shopping with each other, is buying land and buying real estate and going into the housing market. And I think that is a step in the right direction. Um, Papa, I really feel like you particularly can really tell them about why that's a step in the right direction.
So I believe housing is the good step towards financial freedom, not just for us individually, but for us as a whole. Because if your brother, your sister can't afford housing, but you have the mindset to now you have the land, the property, you've bought 3 or 4 homes on the same block. You can now rent out to them or allow them the opportunity to purchase that home at a reasonable price. So you really have the opportunity to change the aspect and the game itself. So this is something that is not to be sleep on for real. Man, what is the American dream, or what is your dream as far as with freedom? You should want to own your own home. You should want to be able to walk into your castle and have no problem. You know what I mean? And invite your family in as well to be able to provide shelter or assistance. So just like bro said, if you really take and invest in a block or so, you could create generational wealth that way, or at least generational freedom.
Hmm. And to add to the knowledge, I want people to understand, especially that's from our region. You don't even have to look outside of where we live, like here in the Midwest. Like I know the highlights in the real estate world. They love to talk about LA. They love to talk about Florida. They love to talk about Texas. But in the current state and economics that we're in, according to the search engines, estimately our region or in the Midwest, so Wisconsin, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, and so forth and so on, actually have been the region that has been appreciating over time. It went up between 5 to 10% estimatedly. It might be around currently 8.7 in the Midwest. And they're saying that it's because our region is upholding the blend of a strong economy and affordable housing. Especially a lot of people have been looking for housing in Indiana specifically. The price growth year over year and the median, we are the in the top 10. Six out
Since
of
we on the state, not to cut you off right there, but since you got that, that we are in the top 10, I just want to brag on my own hometown real fast. I got to do it. So in April 2024, Wall Street Journal named Rockford, Illinois, the top housing market in the country. This city, affordable housing and growing industries, including healthcare, aerospace, and logistics, attract home buyers. So I
So,
just want to let y'all know that Rockford, Illinois, right now is the hub. You know what I'm saying? That's where it goes down.
you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rock, man. I love y'all personally. But with that information, and especially for us, man, what are y'all gonna do with it? Like we're here, we're here to push the culture forward. We're here to change the conditions in the lives that we live, and we're here to actually flourish business in the Midwest. Like this
Look,
is why we
man,
talk about
we
these
don't
things.
want to keep no jewels from nobody. You know what I'm saying? I live here, but I mean, if I know something that I feel like I could pass along, why not do it? Same thing with Afro, just as he did over the week. He trying to teach, or not teach. I'm sorry, we can't teach. We can only show. But he's trying to show everybody that earn your masters is around here, and they then came to Chicago. Not nothing to be slept on. You know, take advantage of the opportunities that's being given. You got these organizations and these wonderful people coming together to provide grants for us as the small folks. You better take advantage, man. But to stay on topic as far as with the housing, I do want to point out that you do have assistance programs. You don't have to just, oh man, I gotta have 100,000 saved up to go get me a house and yada yada yada, this and that. My credit ain't the best. It's okay. You know what I mean? You can go get an FHA loan, NACA programs. Uh,
IDA, you have IDA, you got USDA. Yeah, so if you for guys who are listening to us for the first time, there's two ways that we give out information. We do our best to go out and give you what is deemed to seem to be credible information through research, but also through our life experience. So, we're not just reading from a book. I've actually, and so has Papa Fredo, we've researched, talked to lenders, like we've gone through the process. So again, I'm talking to the everyday 9 to 5 because we are 9 to 5 men, bro. We know what it's like. It's not there's opportunities for you, so never talk as if you're defeated. But we also know that it's not a walk in the park. So we understand having to get all your tax paperwork together, go meet with the lender. They feel like they all in your business, about what income you make 3 times this. Have you researched the comps? The reality of what you want versus what you can afford, getting your approval letter, but then getting denied by the person that's selling. So we've experienced a
that's
lot of this.
you can follow into. So I do want to add as far as with when you're going to obtain homes, things of that sort, you do want to be aware that certain programs are not as secure as other programs, or meaning that the seller will not look at that program as good as the other. As far as with that program, I don't trust them to pay me out either fast enough or to pay me out enough for what I'm actually selling for, things of that sort. Like, for example, if you go look at
Allegedly, I would say allegedly.
FHA loan versus a conventional loan, you may have a problem obtaining homes under an FHA loan because of their guidelines and stipulations, versus a conventional loan has a little bit more leeway because it's based on those down payments, things of that sort that those loans are providing as well. So that's what I'm getting at when I'm saying that. And then I
Yeah,
do want to also mention,
allegedly.
um, young man, 1 second. I do also want to mention, consider working with a buyer's agent who has experience helping minorities or newcomers to the area. So um, don't be scared or unopen to seeking proper help. You can also reach out to one of us, between myself, Papa Fredo, or Afro the Prince. We'll be more than happy to provide any information that we are able to provide as far as what we may know within the areas that we are here in within the Midwest, just to give
Yeah,
you a little
you can DM us. So DM us.
information.
Leave a comment, but you can DM us on Midwest Point of View on our Instagram page. You can leave a comment on our YouTube page. And if you really interested, you can actually email us at midwest.point of view at gmail.com. You really can email us, and we'll do our best to get back to you. Um, and if you love us, you can either follow us individually, right? So we'll do our best to try to get the information out to you. Uh, and hey, look in our region. Hey, all of the country, our region is growing according to the National Association of Realtors. Single family, townhomes, condos. Um, we are pretty much most of our region is 6 out of the top 10. So definitely look into us for the housing market.
Yeah, be prepared to negotiate. I mean, in many Midwestern markets, there may be more room for price negotiation compared to more competitive coastal markets. So we have a market to where you can swing. You know, don't just walk away with what their offer may be if you know your budget is this. You know, don't don't let them just talk you into anything, and don't buy anything off of emotions. I would recommend getting inspections on homes before you actually make a purchase. You know, don't be that person that, oh, I love this home so much, you buy it and it's like you bought a car that's a limit. So
Yeah.
those are
Use
things to consider as well.
use comps when you're doing price negotiation too. So if you don't know what I mean when I say comps, it's comparable pricing of the housing that's in the area that you're looking at. So say you find a four flat that you really really like, and the seller is pricing the four flat for 300K. The K stands for thousands, or represents $300,000. But the comps in the neighborhood for the house that you're looking at says that most of these houses, and even specifically most of those four flats and residential multi units, are only going for 2K. What is that telling you? That means that this is his pricing versus the average or the median that's in the neighborhood. Now, again, the seller has the right to up the price because that's what they deem the value for their house is. And they could say that it's because of appliances or whatever else is supposed to separate them. But there should be some type of leveled out pricing. Like, okay, I expect if you charge a 3K, 300K, then okay, so that means that most of these houses are 250 and up. Now it doesn't sound like you trying to hit me over the head, but now at least I come in like, okay, you charging 50,000 more. Where is the 50,000 in a house? I want you to think about that if you're the buyer. Does he have a enclosed fencing? Does it come with a garage versus what the other comps don't have? Are there updated new appliances as to create that way you have a foundation of why is he charging that much, and now it seems reasonable, and then you can even go from there. So definitely look at the averages in the area.
Correct. And just to kind of leave off from where you are there, I do want to say that the at least to give you guys one more bit of information on homes before we get off of there. The different set of loans that we were walking through there would be the conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans. So if you are a veteran or in active duty or you have served, of course they have benefits for you all. I think that's very great. We don't do enough for our veterans, if you ask me. I mean, you guys put your lives on the front line, so we should be doing something. We have USDA loans, jumbo loans, and other specialized loans. So that's just like the FHA rehab. Um,
That's
it,
called a 203
yes,
K for those that don't know.
yep. It combines the cost of purchasing and renovating a home into a single mortgage. So to break that down for you, you have your FHA Energy Efficient Mortgage, which finances energy saving improvements on the home. FHA Reverse Mortgage for homeowners aged 62 or older to convert home equity into cash. That's lovely for you. So if you're ready to go to Vegas or you're tired of them bad kids, grandkids been getting on your nerves, go on ahead, time to turn up.
He's definitely speaking from a parent perspective because I'm like, okay.
Once the
Oh
Vegas is
man.
over, go spend it all partying. Remember, we want to take a little bit, reinvest, so we can go ahead and get what? a return. Now, these are just all the options as far as what you can go through, just to get your life in order as far as with to owning your home and owning your land. You know, it's just as well as you feeling good when you first purchased your car and you paid off your last car note and now you own that car, or if you bought that car outright. You know, that feeling is the same feeling when you walking into a house that you own. It's just the same.
Mhm. So, and for me, what I want to say is for those that be like, yeah, this sound great, and owning a home sounds nice, and you gave out this information, but I work at McDonald's. I work in the supposed, if it is still a middle class workforce. I'm one of those everyday people, and I say it's possible for y'all. And the reason why I say it's possible for y'all because it's not where you start, it's how you finish the race, and what are you looking to improve, and how are you looking to improve when you have a 9 to 5. And that's why it's so important for us to talk about when we talk about business and infrastructure, even when it comes to black business, like business all around should implement things that help the workforce develop, any training programs, especially in the Midwest. Like, look into that, and if your job right now doesn't offer it, uh assess yourself. I'm very big on personal development. What skills do you have, and if you're good with your hands, and we talk about our kids all the time as far as with trades. um Indeed gave a lot as far as pretty much the top 5 to 10 of the trades that are in the Midwest. So, and you don't need like a college degree to make a lot of these salaries. And these are like livable salaries. So these are like high end salaries. And for those who be like, man, I'm only making minimum wage. A five, guess what a 5 figure salary is. Freddie, have you ever heard of that? Because I know you heard 6 figure.
Yeah, six figure, 100,000.
Yeah. So guess what a 5 figure is? Can you take a guess?
What, 80?
So, and I looked this up like last night, y'all. So 5 figures is anywhere from 10K to 99,000. Like that's literally what a five. So everybody almost in middle class is making 5 figures. And when I say that I make 5 figures, it don't sound like I'm broke, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Like I'm a 5 figure dude.
So it's just pretty much a pacifier on us all pretty much being broke.
Yeah.
Self-explanatory. You know, they
But
want to give us something to kind of latch off of just as well that they're having us look up to those six figures and thus on.
and it's not, you're not that far off. If you making 90,000, they only making 100,000. But I still want to highlight that these are good jobs, even if it is in the middle class. Indeed gave these jobs, and most of these you don't need a college degree for. So a plumber, if you go to trade school, you only need a high school diploma, an apprenticeship, and a state license. And this may vary upon what state you in, especially in the Midwest, but this is the general gist. And they start at 57, right? Electrician is 60,000. Again, high school diploma, a tech certificate. They would like for you to have an associate's degree, but I also feel that there's a way to get into that. Like a lot of people go to like ComEd, you know what I'm saying? Those industry jobs like that. A welder is 55. Now, these are the big ones, bro, which is I figured out why everybody, especially in our community, this wave of truckers came around. The wave of truckers came around because we finally got the information that a truck driver starts anywhere between they said you could start up to like $108,000. $80,000 would probably be your minimum, but literally $108,000 salary. And you pretty much only need like your cert, uh You don't need your associate's degree per se. If you want to be a diesel mechanic, you do. They start off at 82. But no, your high school diploma, you go to the CDL school. It's a lot of programs in the city of Chicago. If we got anybody in Illinois, it's probably a lot of programs in Illinois in general. But like I said, for you to make a living and then excel from the start off, bro, trade programs, and workforce development is definitely a way.
Yeah, I mean that's the rule of the world as well. You know, people that can do things with their hands on is always going to get us through. So I would take heed to some of those jobs that he mentioned out there, as far as what to be beneficial to the avenue that we're looking to get it or to utilize. If you feel like the job at McDonald's is not good enough, since that's how we got there. Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
that. And as far as with going throughout, rather you working as an electrician, plumber, or at McDonald's, I just want to say, really do assess your financial situation. You know, when you budget and you actually don't spend so much on Gucci and Prada, you can really then thus get you a home.
Okay.
You really want to budget and plan out on what you spending your money and time on, because money is time and time is money. So you know, don't look at it like I just spent $300 on a pair of shoes. Look at it as you just spent 25 hours at work on a pair of shoes. You know,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I really want to say that.
Hmm.
Say that at least for the public. And
So go ahead.
go ahead, bring us on to the next topic.
So for me, one of the things besides trades though is something I wanted to speak on. And general contractor though, I just want to show. I'm gonna shout out these numbers. These are the jobs and the salaries I want to give you down the list. So a plumber is 57,000, electrician is 60,000 because some of these I didn't say. A welder is 55,000. These are minimums, so you can't go above these salaries. A general contractor is 98,000, and you only need a contractor's license. Like you don't need a lot now. I don't know what is the extent and length of time for you to get that, but you don't need a. What I'm saying is, with a high school diploma and the skills that you have, and just your born with knowledge, you can excel. A truck driver is 108K. A heavy equipment operator is 58K. A vac tech is 55K. A diesel mechanic is 82K, and then line crew is 52K. So most of the trades you come out of the door with on average, possibly, especially when you negotiate, like we were talking about before, you start off with $60,000, and that's probably at the baseline, right? So let's say if you go to one of these high end brand companies and you use your skill as a diesel mechanic, you start off at 80, and then you became a supervisor or a manager or a regional manager of that plant or so forth. Then you're making 150 to 200K a year doing something that you fell in love with. You know what I'm saying? So there's things like that. Workforce development is a little different from trades, but I do think that is essential. I do think that when you build a company, and especially for my community, especially for Black businesses specifically, this can help with, for me, employee retention and customer retention. Because let's say I wanted to work at a Black owned restaurant or a Black owned tech company, because tech is becoming a wave, and they gave out certs similar to Google when the Black tech company has a new initiative. So they pay for the education for me to go get this cert in AI, in coding, in PC frameworks, and so forth and so on.
Allegedly,
Yeah, allegedly. But so, well, actually, Google does that.
I'm saying, but some don't.
Yeah. So, but so for the hypothetical though, this provides me with feeling that the company cares about my growth, and now I'm become more personally um, indebted, and I become more
Yeah,
personally
so you
devoted
probably don't care about
to
your growth.
well, black businesses I feel can, but no. Anyway, I'm standing up with my 10 toes on black businesses. Okay, I'm saying that.
Hey, I ain't go. You see, I ain't
Standing
got
10 toes that black
I ain't
businesses
got
care
I ain't
about
got you
customer
like that.
retention.
I'm gonna let you, even though we all know it could still be some of us. It still be little crabs in the barrel. We'll let that go.
But to land the plane on what it is that I'm saying, and
Go ahead,
please,
land it for us, brother.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But to land the plane on that, and any aspiring entrepreneur, or if you have a foundational business, especially a black business, I really look into this and see what happens over the next 6 months to a year about the effort and the energy that your employees give to you because you invested in their education, whether it's to improve your company or outside. I don't know if y'all remember, and Fredo, let me see if you remember this. They were pushing for that maybe like 3 years ago, and we don't mean to continuously bring them up, but shout out if they ever want to be a sponsor to the show. But a lot of the fast food restaurants, they when they were on a hiring frenzy to try to get more people, they specifically put up the signs saying tuition reimbursement, flexible hours, schooling. Like they highlighted that these are the policies in
These
which
are the
they would
perks,
support
and
you,
these are
the
the
perks.
incentives that we're giving. So
Yeah,
I do see where you're coming from there. Don't get me wrong. Like, no one wants to work for free. Meaning, a check is good, but more than a check speaks more to your employee. Is also what Afro is getting to. So when you do give your worker, the smaller man, an incentive, it gives them a reason to work harder for you and to stay longevity there for you. Just to break that down.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um,
So just to piggyback off there a little bit, I do want to say that you can develop partnerships with educational intuitions, labor unions, community organizations, and other stakeholders to actually build your own revenue and your
hmm.
own background history. So basically, meaning don't just think about how I can work for the next person, but how can I become a partner either with your organization or creating my own organization, like a non for profit, for example. But we're both sharing like minded um, goal here. So we can help one another to reach our goal. So that's something to be open to as well, outside of the list of jobs that my brother read off here. Um, you know, you can also become a real estate agent. You know what I'm saying? All you would need to do is obtain a real estate license, and you can work independently there. You could be a social media manager. You know, social media is booming. That's the rule of the world right now. It's blowing up just like electronics, or the robotics industry, for example. You could be a graphic designer, freelance writer. So whether that's from music, or if you are assisting in speeches, things of that sort. You know, there's a lot of ways to go with that. Handyman when it comes down to home repairs, things of that sort. So if you are good with your hands and you can, fix things around a home, you can become a freelance there. Personal trainer, if you are one of them cock diesel strong joints, you know what I'm saying? You can go ahead and utilize that, get some people together. You could be a photographer. Um, that's also an artistic way to express yourself. I love how people capture like the right moment with the camera. How do you do that? Like, when to capture the clouds, the way that they move in against the sun and the lights. That's just dope. I love it. So those are some ideas and things that you can go through as well.
No, man, I agree, and basis of what we're saying is,
Don't be lazy.
What that's what he said. What he said, and chase your dream. Don't be lazy when chasing your dream, bro. For sure, for sure. Um, and for me, most of all, you can be intentional to help your people, even in chasing your dream. Be very intentional
Man,
with helping your people.
each one teach one, man. To give to another, you'll get something back from another. It's just the rule of the world, yin and yang. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
real big on you that. And as y'all can see, we real big on giving. We love giving back. So if for those that are out there listening and watching, um, if you got a non-for-profit or a clothing line, just as Afro mentioned before, or some kind of product that you looking to push, especially between our brothers and sisters, go ahead, shout us out, send that out our way. We'll go ahead and see what we can do to get your information out there and stuff.
No, I agree. Definitely send us your products, send us even your ideas. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, hey, can you do a short commercial? You know what I'm saying? Hey, we have no problem. Even if you don't know where to go, Ken Apparel is one. Uh, Black Men Smile is one. Coffee Up Pop and Help, they have their own merch stand. That's one.
I am
So
Dad 365.
yeah, I am Dad 365. Shout out to I am Dad 365 out of Chicago. But it's a lot, and as you see, they have an intention. They have something that they want to give back. I'm very proud that the all the brands that we just named are black. I'm very happy with that. Uh,
Oh, matter of fact, and let's not forget one very important brand here today. Just in case you guys have children that love to read things of that sort, we got a book out. It's called If I Was Three by yours very own, truly, Papa Fredo. You can go ahead and look it up on Amazon right now. And it's a lovely book. Your kid will love it. So that's something I think that the public would need to go ahead and grab right there.
yeah, and with that being said, man, thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on iHeart if you love to listen to the audio. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. If you're a video girl or guy, hey, we're on YouTube, so it's Midwest Point of View. If you want to come on the show, like I said before, you can DM us. We're both on. These are our Instagram handles. These are our content handles. These are our brands. But you can also just hit up the show and comment below. Let me know what your point of view is, especially if you are a Midwestern for sure, for sure.
Also, if you have any topics that you would like for us to hit, or anything
Yep.
that you want us particularly to talk about, things of that sort, any questions, please comment below or inbox us or send out an email so we can go ahead and give y'all exactly what y'all looking for at the same time while trying to tackle our own topics, things of the sort that we want to give to you guys, just to kind of bring you all aware to what's going on as well. But we appreciate everybody that's at home or just stopping in their cars, things of that sort, to take the time out of their day to listen to hear what we have to say. So I do want to say thank you all for that. This is your boy Papa Fredo.
All right, it's your boy Afro the Prince, and we're gonna holler at y'all later. All right,
Have a
blessings,
wonderful day.
blessings.